Greetings, GH fans. So in this episode, which was yesterday's, because of the whole interruption thing, I got to watch on Hulu. No commercials, so that was great. Going into this episode, I felt like a lot really didn't happen. This is another one of those episodes I felt like it was very forgettable. Like, you could have skipped this episode and everything would have just been fine. Yeah, Carly and Jocelyn talking. Okay, so let's just kind of get the shit out the way. You know, everyone always talks about how Carly is a great mother and things of that nature. And, you know, for the most part, she is. But, I mean, Sunny leads a dangerous life. And, I mean, kidnappings and fucking cars exploding, and yet you're still with this guy. You know, and just to kind of, there was one part where Margaret Dawson, can't really pronounce her name, but she said to Carly, she was like, listen, you know, your husband kills for profit, and how many, dead bodies and how many wives had to become widows because of your husband. And Carly just stood there and looked with a straight face, and I was like, wow, you know what, here's the thing, I may not like this woman, but everything that she said was the fucking truth. And, she's having this talk with Jocelyn, and talking about how she, thinks about bolting all the time, and, if things get too dangerous, she'll leave and shit. But I'm like, your son got killed, and you're still there. Your other son got kidnapped and was in a coma for a couple years. I'm sorry, you said you were going to leave him when? So, again, that conversation was a little kind of forgettable to some extent, because all she was saying was, if things get too dangerous, I'll leave. But history shows that, well, you haven't left. I mean, yeah, you've left for periods and brief of time or whatever, but you've always come back. So, when Jax is like, listen, if shit gets too crazy, I will take our daughter and we will go to fucking down under, and that will be that. And she sits there and looks at Jax like, no, you're not taking Jocelyn away. I'm like, really? Because you know that Jocelyn just isn't your daughter, right? Moving on, because again, that conversation was forgettable. Ava and Nicholas talk or whatever for a little bit, and things seem like it's kind of, good heart to heart. And then out of nowhere, I think he must have said something that made Ava snap, because the next thing I know, Ava was sitting there talking about this. Like, they were going back and forth about, how Nicholas' life just is fucking up everyone else, like, screwed over your mother, screwed over your sister, but your son was the one thing that really hurt him the most. And so I thought the conversation was pretty interesting. It kind of ended abruptly. I think something along the lines when he said he was sorry and stuff like that, and I think that's where Ava was like, you're already sorry after the fact, and which is true. It was absolutely fucking true. But the sad thing is that it goes in her case too, Ava's always sorry, she always used to be sorry with her daughter after the fact of her trying to do something to her daughter. So I kind of felt like it was one of those things where she was being a hypocrite. Robert and Anna was talking, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of looking at my phone the whole time, because here's the thing, Anna has this fucking blind spot, and the sad thing is that whenever she talks, I don't know if you noticed, there's always a hint of, well, he couldn't have did it, and the bureau found it to be okay, and I found it to be okay, so it's okay. It's like a little girl that's snipped there saying, well, this has to be that way, and nah. Like, she was acting very immature, and it was like, alright, bitch, we get it. You're defending your daughter. I mean, you're defending your son. We get it. You know, you sound like an immature child. Because the thing is, whenever she talks and she tries to defend Peter, she always does it from this mother perspective. But yet, she's smart enough to realize there are holes in each time she tries to defend somebody. It's like trying to argue with somebody who knows that they're wrong, but they're gonna keep going. That's how Anna is whenever she tries to defend, Peter. She knows she's wrong, but yet she keeps just steaming on ahead. So, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't know if you're Anna fans or not. I haven't really been an Anna fan for a while. I think I stopped being an Anna fan when she came at Patrick Drake when Robin supposedly died and I think Drake moved on or whatever. And she came at him talking about how he cheated on her and my daughter was going out to Africa to help people and she was trying to save lives and you decided to step out and she was in the wrong in so many different ways and I can go on and on and on about it, but let's just sit there and say the bitch was wrong. So I didn't really pay that much attention to her. And moving on to Liesel talking with her daughter Britt. Britt. Don't remember her full name. I kind of stopped, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of stopped watching it with the whole Britt and Patrick thing because I was just over it. But, Britt is just like with everyone else. I don't believe you. But more so the fact that she doesn't want to get tangled up in whatever sort of shenanigans that her mother is into because she's on parole. If she does anything with that, she can go straight back to fucking Pentonville. So for her own sake, she's just choosing to just staying out of this. And that's pretty much where that ends. Anna and Finn talk and whatever, blah blah blah. Honestly, to tell you the truth, they're kind of an afterthought at this point because all Finn is doing is being very apologetic towards not trusting Peter, and Anna's just getting everything that she wants, so it's just whatever. And let's see. Jason talks to Dev's supposedly father. I can't remember his name. But they talk in the warehouse and the guy pretty much talks about how he came back from the war with PTSD and he's pretty much sitting there saying that he's a ticking time bomb. And when he went to help Carly, he didn't do it out of some sort of heroism. He did it because of the PTSD. You know, he was like right back in the war. So when he heard gunfire, reflexes and instincts and training just kind of just kicked off. And he pretty much is just like, listen, I don't want to be here because I don't want to fuck over anyone else. He's grateful for them helping him out, but at the same time, he just feels like, I don't know if you want to be around me. And I think that's the vibe that I'm sensing from him. I wish I could remember his name. But, I can't remember his name for some reason. Moving forward, Elizabeth talks to Nicholas and she's all like, oh, I blame you for my sister and blah, 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 blah. Honestly, to tell you the truth, this is nothing that no one heard at this point, And the thing about this whole Hayden leaving and going who knows where, I don't know. Here's the thing. A lot of times with these storylines, with these, actors and actresses and shit like that, let's say that they want to get back the original actress that plays Hayden. And she's contracted to do something else, or whatever the case is, or she doesn't want to do it, whatever the case is. I feel like a lot of times the story suffers because of that. The story suffers because of that. When she left the first time, and I think because of contract or something like that, her whole disappearing and the fact that she left with Finn's child just made her look really fucking bad. And although the writers did their best to sit there and clean it up, you still felt like it was kind of a misstep. When you look at it, the whole, Finn and Anna thing, a lot of people can kind of look at it, it's like, this doesn't feel right. And it's not. It's because Finn was supposed to be with Hayden that whole time. When Hayden came back, she wanted to be back with Finn because that was the original storyline. And granted, because it's an everyday show, writers are faced with this challenge of just trying to adapt and make new storylines up. But in general, I feel like they're just not supposed to be together. It was always supposed to be, as they say, Endgame, it's supposed to be Hayden and Finn, but because of her scheduling or whatever it is, it's Finn and Anna, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, and the reason why I'm bringing this up because I don't know if it's a scheduling contract or conflict or whatever. It's something I actually got to look into. And when I know more, I definitely will share with people. But, this whole her not being there is just really kind of fucking up the storyline because, again, now people, as far as the storyline are left to believe is something happened to her because of one of her enemies, or she just, a tragic fate that happened to her, car accident, whatever the case is. But because they can't get back the original actress, this is where the storyline is, and it's just pretty messy. It reminds me of the Claudette situation, where I don't know if the actress just didn't want to come back, they didn't want to put her in the storyline, whatever the case was, she was gone. And because of that, they had to sit there and do this whole, oh, she committed suicide or whatever, and then it kind of came back to where I don't know if they're still going to try to prove that Claudette is alive, and I guess that depends on if they can get the actress back, or if they can just, my point is, just get a new fucking person. Just get, just get, the role would be played by so-and-so. Now, granted, people, the fans and stuff like that, are gonna like the fact that they replace Hayden with a new actress. But you know what? If the actress is good, the story would play out a lot better than if the actress is gone and they just, they kind of just go along with the storyline. It just messes things up. Now, I say that because I know it's a double-edged sword. You look at when they had to replace Jordan. I can't sit there and speak for everyone else, but the actress sucks. And the same thing that goes for Nina. The actress is fucking terrible. She is fucking terrible. But this is the choice that you got, And I don't know if this is a rush sort of thing or whatever, because the guy that they played, the guy who is playing Nicholas is actually pretty fucking great. He's amazing as Nicholas. And yeah, I like the other guy, Christopher Tyler, and maybe the other one before that. But he's pretty good. He's really good as playing Nicholas. And I know, again, when you get a stand-in, when you get somebody to play the role or whatever, it's a mixed bag. When I came back and I started watching a little bit, they replaced Kristen Storm with some other actress. And not only was she bad, she was bad. She wasn't even blonde. I mean, they didn't even try with this fucking character. This wasn't like before. I remember they had another actress that people didn't like, but she was blonde. This chick wasn't even, she was brunette. I was like, yo, are we all just supposed to sit there and pretend that she has fucking blonde hair? Like, really? Like, we're all just supposed to sit there and just, okay. So I get it's a very tricky situation as far as finding the right actress and the right actor, because here's the thing, with a soap opera, the acting is what's going to sell the storyline. And a lot of times with some of these actors, they're not only just made for the role, but it's ingrained in them. I feel like Maurice Bernard, can forget certain lines and still kill it as Sunny. You know, he could just improv his shit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, and still pull it off because he's just that good. He's been doing it for so long. He's that good. Um, Luke, Laura. Just to give a few. The guy who plays, I can't remember, Scott Bolin. Scott Bolin has been playing Scott Bolin for years, and this is on General Hospital and Port Charles. Um, yeah, the guy who's been playing Scott Baldwin, he's been doing that for years. He can improv his shit, and he's just that good. There's a lot of actors, a lot of seasonal actors that's been on there for a while, that's been doing this for a while, and hell, even Sam, and I'm not just gonna sit there and say Elizabeth because she's been on there before I've been watching, but Sam, she's been Sam for so long that it's like she's a natural at it, and so when you have to replace these actresses and actors, it can have a mixed result. How even a woman that's been playing Carly, she's been doing it so long that it's nothing to her. So I get, them being hesitant as far as replacing actresses and actors and stuff like that, but sometimes I hate to sit there and say it, sometimes you have to like I don't want to sit there and say you have to get an actress to kind of just get it through, but at that point, here's the thing. You either need to kill off the character, or you need to find somebody that's good enough to replace her. And I don't want to sit there and say that you just bring in anyone just to get them, the story moving along, because clearly fucking Nina and Jordan are, the people who are playing her suck. And they need to find somebody else, and they should have really actually just searched through that shit a little bit longer before. They should have had a test audience, and they should have did another test audience or something. My point is, they have the time. Find the right person to play fucking these characters. Oh, even when they got the other guy to play Jason for a little bit, it was mixed. It was mixed. I gotta sit there and say that it was mixed, but he was great as Jason. And the reason why I sit there and say he was great as Jason is because he put his own unique spin to it. He gave us a different version of Jason. He gave us a live Jason, a guy who laughed and who was sad, and like he just gave us a different range of emotions, as opposed to the Jason that we have now. Granted, I'm not gonna lie, they did actually change him up a little bit. He does laugh, and he is a little more range than he was when I first used to watch him, like with him and Courtney and stuff. But but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I felt like with Billy, I can't remember his name, but the guy who was Drew, they seemed like they took their time to actually cast the right person. They need to find the right time to cast a new Hayden or kill her off, because just meandering through the story is just. And there's more stuff that I missed, but let's be honest. Again, this episode is forgettable. It's one of those things where you didn't need to watch it to follow along. And if I didn't tell you before, they are shutting down production on General Hospital. So I don't know how many new episodes we're gonna get of this show, but yeah. Again, if I get more updates on it, I will let you know. Thanks for liking. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the views. And share it, Share the video. That helps out a lot, because I want to get more people into this discussion. I want to see some comments at the comment section at the bottom, Let me know if you like this episode, if you didn't like this episode, why, and just I want to kind of grow this segment of the channel. I do a lot of different segments, and I do segments on this channel that I like. You know, I'm not gonna just do a segment just because it gets the most views or is popular or whatever. You know, I do segments that I'm passionate about, and as weird as it sounds to say, you know, I'm passionate about General Hospital. I like the characters, I like the story. You know, so yeah. Till next time.